We're here! Welcome! This is our 20th episode, you guys.
20!
What?
Yes.
20! We've done 20 of these things.
I can't believe it.
I can't either.
That's bi-weekly, so that's, if you do the math, how many years is that? 5 years?
40. Exactly 40 years.
40 years.
40 weeks.
We've been doing this. This is incredible.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
And helping us celebrate not only our 20th episode, but console launch, too.
Yeah, we have...
That thing happened.
It is out. PC and Mac folks have been joining us for the last 20 episodes. Sure, console folks have as well. But now, Xbox One and PlayStation 4 people, you have the game.
Yeah.
No more waiting.
I don't even know what day it is anymore, but it happens.
August or September, I don't even know what today is.
Again, thank you for joining. We are your hosts for today. I'm Gina Bruno, Assistant Community Manager for ESO.
Jason, yep. I'm Jason Lee, the Community Coordinator for ESOTU. TU. So
we should kick things off, as always, with a quick overview of what the show's going to be.
Let's take a look. So up first, we have the upcoming in-game fan events.
After that is going to be some of our official ESOTU news.
Life at ZOS with gameplay programmer Geoffrey Marsi.
And then we will get into the Ask Us Anything, where we answer some of the questions you've posted on our forums in the specific Ask Us Anything thread.
Exactly. Fan creation showcase will be after that.
And then we're going to wrap things up with a State of PvP update with our own lead PvP designer, Brian Wheeler.
I know people are excited for that. He posted a forum thread earlier in the week, and we're going to basically elaborate on that and talk about what's going on with Cyrodiil.
We will.
We will. We will. All right, so up first, let's get into community events, shall we?
We shall.
Cool. Welcome back.
You know what we forgot?
What's that?
We're also doing giveaways on the show.
Yeah!
I don't think we ever forgot, because it's the heart of the show.
I saw some people in chat going, no giveaways?
Yeah,
but
giveaways.
No, we're doing
giveaways. You're going to get some stuff. But up first, before giveaways, let's go over what's happening in Tamriel. Fan events. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here we go. There we are.
Up first, we've got the Smashed Crab. This is actually a new event. It's a tavern night happening weekly in Windhelm. If you're interested, you've got to be on the European Mega Server. This is for the PC Mac players. Most of our events are, as an FYI, or all of our events this week. So let's see those events for console too, guys. Let us know what you're doing in game. But anyway, in the meantime, Smash Crab, check it out. It's going to be Saturday, June 20th at 19:30 BST.
What is that in Eastern Time, Jason?
It's a great question. You'll have to watch next episode to find out.
Next, we have our mid-year festival. You should go here if you want to celebrate with some apple bobbing, archery competitions, dancing, and more. This is Saturday, June 20th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on the North American PC Mega Server over in Greenshade.
Nice. What time is that in BST, Gina?
We'll tell you next episode.
All right, there you go. What else we got? The weekly underground market. So this is going to be taking place on Tuesday, June 23rd. If you're looking to sell your ill-gotten gains, you are welcome to attend. And if you have any questions, contact Thrawn, which is a pretty awesome name.
Do you think that's his real name?
I do. Thrawn Johnson.
The Withered Tree Tavern Night.
Get it together, Gina. Come on.
I'm working on it. You want to head here to join the Order of the Raven for some food and drink, sparring prizes, and more. This is happening Wednesday, June 24th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, North American PC Mega Server, over at the Withered Heart Tree Tavern in Riften.
Very nice.
That wasn't even the difficult one.
None of them are.
It's coming.
Wayrest Fighters Guild Adventure Training Night. This is a once-a-week event on the EU Mega Servers. People say we don't have EU events. Of course we do.
There it is.
Yeah, here you go.
There's one.
This is the second. We did one, that Smash Crab. Oh, you're nonsense. If you have any questions, contact Cami2K14H. This is a European event, as we said, at Wayrest Fighters Guild in Wayrest, Daggerfall Covenant.
I'm doing the thing where I'm trying not to like burst laughing into the microphone.
Yeah, don't do that.
Instead, I'm just turning beet red. The Wood Hearth Open Market. Head here if you would like to join a weekly open market. Merchants from all over the Dominion are going to be attending. This is Thursday, June 25th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time at the Three Tree Trading Circle in Wood Hearth. I'm
Nice.
getting better every week with that.
Yeah, it's easier. Of course, the Player Live auction, this has been going on since the beginning. Blue Skooma Company puts this live weekly auction on. This is taking place on Saturday, the 27th, 10 p.m. Check it out. It's at the Marbrook Merchant Square in Greenshade.
The Cyrodiil Underground Fight Club. As always, we don't talk about Fight Club except on ESO Live. So it's time to take part in another Fight Club, so get your hands or paws dirty.
Wow.
Wow. This is on Sunday, June 28th at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern on the North American PC Mega Server, and they will be determining the campaign the night of the event.
Boom.
Oh, that was
A lot of events,
It is.
right?
Yes.
Like we
Very
said,
exciting.
though, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 people, let us know your events because we want to promote them and get you guys in on the fun. So.
Yep. So up next, we are going to get into some official ESOTU news.
Hi.
Hi, we're back.
So what happened in the last few days, weeks, years? I don't even know.
I don't even know anymore.
Me neither.
Everything's just kind of blended together, but
Yeah.
I
I've
do
just been getting
believe.
so much sleep lately, I can't even remember what I've been doing.
It's hard to
You
remember.
know what? I have been doing the opposite of you, CJ. I've been
great.
getting no sleep.
Oh,
But thank you for
Aw.
sharing.
That's surprising.
Thank you for your feedback.
What is sleep?
So we did this thing where we launched on Xbox One and PS4.
Yep. Console
Surprise.
launch happened.
In case
Yep.
you missed it, that did happen last Tuesday.
Yes, it happened at midnight in your region. So for us in the United States, that was
That was midnight.
Tuesday midnight Eastern time. But you maybe got it before or after that. So sweetness. That's how time works. Yep.
It is. We do want to let you know that we are going to be having an incremental patch on consoles next week.
Yep.
And tentatively, we have Xbox One scheduled for Tuesday and PS4 on Wednesday.
Yep.
Tentative, but pretty sure that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we would like to share a few of the patch notes
Let's do it.
for
These are hot
console.
off the presses. So.
Hot off the press. So we have one fix in Cyrodiil where your game was crashing when you teleported to a forward camp or a keep in Cyrodiil. That is fixed.
Cool.
Yay! We have another one, I think a few of you have run into this, where there are invisible NPCs
Yes.
ruining your fun. So we have decreased the frequency at which you're going to run into these, well, or not run into, the invisible NPCs.
Exactly.
Oh no, what does this error mean? The request
Too many.
timed out.
Too many good patch notes. You can't look at them.
It keeps popping up. Stop it.
But yeah,
There
we've
it
definitely seen that come up on the forums the last 2 weeks. So we're going to finally be looking at improving that for next week's patch. which
Yep,
is
and
great.
that fix is in progress. So, well, the fix is a work in progress. So, in the event that you do run into an invisible NPC, we recommend that you just wait, and they should appear within 30 seconds.
Yep. Not bad.
We had a fix go into the last PC incremental patch. It was 2.0.11, I think, maybe 10, where basically grouped VR characters of any level will receive XP and loot regardless of their contribution. And that is going to go into the console patch next week.
Nice. Tell us more.
I highlighted my favorites. I'm looking for
Nice.
them. We have improved the game's overall performance when there's a lot of players loading into the same area.
Nice.
And also in areas where there's a lot of particle effects going on.
Yeah, I know people have been, trying to get in because they're excited. So obviously that's happened to a lot of people. So that's
Yeah,
great.
and we know there's been a lot of login issues, but we've remedied a lot of these already.
Yeah.
There was an issue where the login queue was showing that you were placed one. What are you doing back there? Brian Wheeler is dancing and distracting us. The login queue was showing that you were placed number 1 in line and you had 1 second left.
Right.
That was just a visual error. You were in queue, but it was clearly, as some of you found out, longer than a second.
It was, yeah.
So we are actually updating our login screen, so it'll show a status bar that will fill as you get closer, and a little spinning Ouroboros.
Much more accurate than the 1 second,
We have some VoIP fixes. We had one issue where when you adjusted your game settings, it wouldn't always save, and you would have to go back and readjust them. That will be fixed.
Cool.
A lot of UI fixes. So that's just a taste. I'm sorry.
Spoiler,
I'm talking a lot. Spoiler alert. There's going to be some fixes.
Nice.
So be on the lookout. We'll post the patch notes on the website and on the forums next week.
Yeah, next week. Don't have to wait long. So for the PvP fans, of course, we're going to be talking to Brian Wheeler later in the show, but in case you're wondering, we did add new campaigns. They are 5-day non-vet campaigns.
To console.
To console, correct. I'm going to try to pronounce them correctly. Versailles, Juliek, Rislav, Hestra, Tavia.
We'll go with it. Sounds good to me.
Oh, God.
War names.
I like Tavia. I said it kind of sounds like a sweetener or a yogurt.
I think we were all sitting in the war room going, Tavia. All right.
My favorite.
Earlier, was it this week? I really don't know what date it is.
Honestly,
was E3 this past week?
I feel like it was Sunday night, but you can prove me wrong.
The week that we're in now.
I think so.
E3 happened. You guys, it's been something else. E3 happened, and we had our first ever Bethesda showcase.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys watched it. It was very cool.
They announced a couple things, no big deal. We did show a Elder Scrolls Online video, kind of showing what you can expect coming up. So we'd like to show that to you now, just in case you missed it.
Yep.
Xbox One, now $349.
Pretty exciting.
Such hype.
So we did post this on the website, but you can expect to hear more about Imperial City, which was the first chunk of that video, in July.
Yep, we said we're going to talk more about it in July, so stay tuned. Exciting things. The end of the video was cool with the big bears. Were those bears maybe or something? I don't know.
Like some bears?
Not sure. Can't really tell. So anyway, what else is new? Crown Store?
We did some Crown Store
We did some updating on the Crown Store.
Yesterday.
We added some cool things. Let's talk about what we added. So the Crown Experience Scroll, that's one thing that we added. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's the image.
These are all on the PC Max store now, Crown Store now. The Crown Experience Scroll is basically a 50% boost to your experience. So you can get that. It is available now for PC Mac. We also added the Emperor's hors d'oeuvres tray. Tasty. Doesn't that look good?
You know what? We actually are fixing a bug next week in console where anything you eated, nice grammar, right? Anything you ate looked like a turkey leg.
Which I thought was working as designed, but I've been told that's incorrect. So.
Well, he is clearly eating a delicious turkey leg.
This item will increase your health, magicka, and stamina all across the board. Very nice. Very nice. We also have Vivek's Old Bone Milk. This tasty treat. Very nice image. Look at that cute little Guar in the background. Stealing food. There's also the Superb Triune Alteration Potion. Oh. This also increases your health, magicka, and stamina. It's a nice sudden burst for your questing needs. And last but not least, the Cinch Lioness. So this is actually on the PC and Mac and console crown stores right now. This is just live for everyone to enjoy. I know console folk for the last week didn't have a chance to get a Cinch, but now you do. And it's a nice one, indeed. And this is not a limited time thing. This isn't something we're pulling, next week. This is going to be there. It's got a permanent home. Maybe not permanent. Who knows? But
1,800 crowns.
Yes, exactly. This is 1,800 crowns available now. So if you want to get your Cinch on, Lioness style, do it.
Meow. Meow. We also have I'm looking at the wrong camera, as always. We also added some new merchandise to the Bethesda store, which we wanted to show you, just in case you missed it.
Yep.
We have some t-shirts.
T-shirt time.
This is a Craiglorn t-shirt based on the tapestry and a Cold Harbor t-shirt. These are both on store.bethsoft.com, available now. And we also have some really cool pop vinyl figurines. These are pre-order. So pre-order them now. You'll get them, I don't know, soon, TM. But these are based on the characters that you saw in our cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
You know and love them.
Yep.
I'd get all three if I had to make a choice. I'd say you have to get all three.
I would suggest all three.
Yep.
Why not?
Perfect.
All three.
Glad we agree.
And also, just a reminder that the Bethesda store is having a 20% off sale through Monday.
Nice.
And that is for all in-stock items.
It is.
So do it, do it.
Do it. Before Monday.
Well, it's through Monday, so they can do it Monday morning.
You can, yeah. Or Tuesday, and then just pay the extra 20%. Up to you. Option's yours. So up next, I'm getting very lonely. I think we should have someone on the show. Let's do it.
I think
you
so.
ready?
Some guy's just been sitting near us, waiting to talk.
He's probably like, just wants the spotlight away from us, at least. So up next, Life Exhausts with Geoffrey Marsi. So, guest here. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is gameplay programmer Geoffrey Marsi. So, without further ado,
Here he is.
who are you?
Well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, so I'm a gameplay programmer here at ZOS. The gameplay department is sort of wide-ranging in terms of what it handles. It handles stuff like animation, all the client-side stuff, and as well as systems support for things like the justice system or crafting,
Cool.
and all that kind of stuff. So not so much quests or zones, but the actual gameplay systems themselves.
Nice.
Interesting. You know what? Maybe you can fix my computer, which keeps popping up this error constantly, right in the middle of the screen. In the meantime, can you tell us sort of how you broke into the industry? You have kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, so it's a weird one. So I sort of, all the way going through college, knew that I wanted to work in the game development industry. And so, senior year rolls around, right? Applying for jobs, got nowhere, just absolutely nowhere. Took a job somewhere else, and then a couple months later, got a call sort of out of the blue to come work at CCP, who makes EVE Online and some other games. Mm-hmm. And I was
I've heard of them.
super excited about that, very excited. Moved down there, And 3 weeks after I started working there, I had just gotten my furniture and my boxes and stuff. The project was canceled and the whole studio was laid off. And so sort of back to square one did I go. And fortunately, though, they held a job fair, and some of the people from ZeniMax Online came and chatted with me, and sort of the rest is history.
Nice. They came and scooped you up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Here you are on the show now.
Here I am.
So I know that wasn't the greatest story, at least at the beginning. It worked out very well for you.
Well, thank you.
Can you give advice to somebody else that's looking to get into this industry?
Well, yeah, I mean, so at least, to start, you need, at least for engineering, right, I recommend having a computer science degree because it's not, strictly speaking, necessary, but it'll give you a lot of the sort of base, the fundamentals for data structures, understanding how computation works, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I would say that the game industry is fairly competitive, especially for engineers, and so I recommend, working on stuff outside of just your classwork. If you decide to go for the computer science degree, right, to make yourself stand out. And the third, which was the most important for me, is at least to be persistent, right? So I had a couple of opportunities to give up and say, this is too hard, right? Like, I don't want to be in this high volatility industry anymore, and call it quits. But
sure.
I didn't, and here I am. So.
Yeah, it's probably a very common thing that people get discouraged and have to decide whether they can keep on going.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster sometimes, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, nice. I love working with the people that I work with here, and I have found my people, right? Like you walk through the rows, and there's people with like video game memorabilia and like anime stuff, sure. And it's great.
That's one thing, we do all have one common interest at least.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
So what have you worked on while you've been here at ZOS?
So I started here a little over a year ago, right after the PC launch, and as anyone who played during the PC launch remembers, we had a couple of bugs, and so sort of all hands on deck for a long while, working on bugs and trying to make the game better. And then once that sort of simmered down to a low roar, the justice system and update 1.6 was the next big push, and so I actually worked on most of the justice system UI, the UI side of that system.
Oh, nice.
And so all of the little things that you see, the infamy meter, the fact that your prompt turns red when you're hovering over something that you can steal, the fence, and the icons that show that items are stolen, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Sort of sprinkle all over the place.
Sweet.
So Mandy Parker was on the show not too long ago, a few shows ago, and she was kind of talking about a lot of justice stuff, how the system works and everything. So I guess for kind of a Cliff Notes version, she decides what is done and then you do it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it goes through a couple other people, Chris Strauss, who's our UX lead, Gary Boudou, who's also both been on the show, I think.
Right.
Sort of take Mandy's sort of notes and say, okay, well, how should this look? How should we represent this system? And then that gets passed along to me along with artwork from some of our artists, and yeah, we put it in the game.
Nice. Work with a lot of people.
Yes, it is very, very multidisciplinary to get anything into a game of this size.
Cool.
For sure.
So this might be difficult, but can you talk at all about what you're doing now, what you're working on?
I can, but only in very broad strokes. I'll let Brian Wheeler be put on the spot later on when we're talking about the PvP stuff. But I am working on Imperial City, some of the new features for that. Can't really go into super much detail about that quite yet, but it's going to be exciting, and we're looking forward to having people jump in and play and enjoy those systems.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
People are excited, I'm sure.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to say, there's already been a request to put the notch on your head.
Okay.
Because it's a thing on
I've
ESO
heard
Live.
this is a tradition.
It happens sometimes.
You have to
All
put something on your head.
Bring it on.
Only the best have worn a
Does it go
notch.
this way?
Yes.
Only the
this
best.
is the front.
Only the best. All right, here we go.
Well,
Like a glove. Wow. It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
It's like a crown. It's wonderful.
Can you keep talking with that on your head?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So
I have a poker face. It's fine.
one thing that we can
Not
promise is memes will not be created. So
memes are never created.
Memes?
Never-
Oh,
it's never
no, of
happened.
course. No, this is Twitch. No, memes? What are memes?
never
No, of course
happened
not.
before.
So,
If there's not a GIF of this by next week, I will be very disappointed.
oh my gosh, that sounds like a challenge.
It's a call
You
of
guys
action.
Do it.
Bring it on.
Outside of Imperial City, you mentioned that you've been working on a lot of bug fixes. What's, I don't want to say like the most difficult,
straight
but There you go, straighten it out.
Yeah,
What's
like
one of
a
the more
leaning.
difficult bug fixes that you've had to do?
Well, there's a lot of bugs are the result of complex interactions between lots of systems, and so I think the most difficult ones are the ones that can't be reproduced very easily, or require lots of complicated steps or things to be just set up in the right way, and then something happens and then everything breaks, right? And so the most difficult bugs, I would say, are the ones that have these. It only happens 5% of the time, and only then when you're standing on top of a light pole in a whatever a lamppost and whatever, and have a netch on your head and are damncing, and then the game blows up. And so so it's once we can get those things sort of narrowed down to something we can do over and over, then it's generally a pretty simple matter to fix all of them.
Nice.
I know you have been floating around on the forums and you try and troubleshoot with people with some of the more difficult issues.
Yep,
so
if you see me, I frequent the general help and the general chat and all of the technical support forums as Skitamine. So if you see me there, feel free to say hi, or if you have questions about system stuff. I can't really answer. I don't really know enough to answer stuff about quests or zones, or login stuff or whatever. But if you have questions about game systems, how game systems work, I mean, there was someone yesterday who was.
You can take that off.
Who was having? No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's here to stay now. Yeah, no, it's good. Who's having problems with their bounty, and so we got that all figured out.
Nice.
And yeah.
Oh, that was the guy who killed like.
Yes.
500
went on
NPCs
a 500-person long murdering spree, and then wondered why his bounty was so high.
Well.
We figured it out.
That's a good question.
Yep.
Do you want to take a couple questions from Twitch chat?
Sure.
Sure.
I have one from Nasty Bengal. Nice name. What gameplay in ESO?
Tatiana, get off Twitch.
What gameplay in ESOTU are you most proud of, and are there any ideas that show in the gameplay?
So yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of world PvP, and so I really like. I've worked on a couple of things in Cyrodiil. The AVA, the new capture meter, the one that's like sort of 3/4 of a circle and then it fills up. That was actually my first feature that I ever put into the game that players have ever seen.
Thank you.
And so I'm still. You're welcome. And so I'm still. It's really cool to me to be able to work on something that people see every day as they're playing in Cyrodiil.
Sure.
And I think that Cyrodiil in general has a lot of promise, and we've delivered on some of it, and hopefully we can continue to deliver on more of it.
Cool.
And Brian Wheeler will elaborate a little on what I mean by that.
I think you will.
Soon.
I think you will.
You might be on the show.
Yep.
Do you know who Sogor is?
I do know who Sober is.
Well, Sogor is watching like he said he would, and we're supposed to ask you how your day is going.
My day is going quite well. It's a Friday. I'm excited.
Nice.
On Twitch.
Can't beat that.
With my Twitch people. So I'm also like, I love Twitch. I watch Twitch all the time, watch lots of streamers, primarily in like the esports realm. And so being on Twitch is,
Natural.
it's exciting.
Nice.
It's home, yep.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Man, someone said put the netch on your head, but you did. So.
I did.
did
Yes.
it.
I can put it back on my head if you want. It's now in my lap.
Here's a good one from Harlequin Jack Plays, asking kind of about the group finder, if we have plans to improve it or fix it.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely aware of issues with the group finder and having sort of difficulties finding a group or long group times, and we are definitely committed to making the LFG tool more satisfying to use. I can't go into specifics on when exactly that's going to happen, but that is definitely something that we're aware of, and something that we share a deep desire to fix.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Any more in chat?
Let's see.
Nope, that's it. That's a wrap.
Awkward silence. I'm kind of just going through reading everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
My computer froze up a little bit ago, so I'm catching up on everything. Sorry.
Yeah, I got a
Only
laggy
the best.
Skype, so.
Yep.
Did you already ask this one?
I did, yes.
sorry, I wasn't
Thank you for paying
listening to you.
attention. It was a great answer, too.
Yeah,
I'm
but,
sure
thank you.
it was.
I appreciate that.
I was troubleshooting. I'm secretly IT.
how's that
She
working
wears
out?
many hats, some of which are netches,
Some of which are plushy form.
Do you have? No.
Yes, I do.
Yes, everything.
The answer is yes.
Damage points. People are wondering if we're ever going to see that, so they can kind of see like how strong their hits are.
Sure.
No, there's add-ons on PC, but console they're not.
So we're talking
they
about
don't have access to
scrolling combat text here, and I mean it was, conversations and decisions about scrolling combat text have been floating around for the past year, right, for or more. People very much seem to want it, and it's sort of above my pay grade to decide what, because that has a lot of ramifications on the in-game experience, right? There's a large difference between a game like Skyrim, for example, where it's a sort of a cinematic experience where it's you in the world, which is what we have been shooting for Elder Scrolls, as opposed to a lot of other MMOs where you'll see lots of numbers and blinking lights and sort of looks like you're in the middle of a casino sometimes with everything flashing at you. And we've sort of tried to keep our design toward the former and not the latter, and that's influenced a lot of the decisions that we make, regarding things like scrolling comment text. Now, having said that, never say never. We'll definitely keep sending us your feedback, and we'll definitely take into account when we make all of our design decisions.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good rule to live by. Never say never.
Yeah. We watch the forums. We read Reddit.
Yeah.
We will see what you say.
Sweet.
We're watching.
So we are going to wrap this up with a nice little giveaway prize.
Yeah. Giveaway. So to show you the giveaway, we aren't, because I think we didn't bring it down.
I'm pretty sure I left it on my desk upstairs.
Hot damn. But we can tell you what it was. It was going to be a nice swag bag, basically a wallet, ESO wallet, mouse pad, and keychain. So a nice trifecta.
You just have to trust us. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, we've given them away on the show before, and if you can imagine what a wallet or a keychain or a mouse pad looks like, you could be excited and then say, oh, I want to participate in this giveaway. I'm sorry that we don't have it to show you in physical form. But
what is the keyword so they can start?
The keyword is Vivek, as in Vivek's Old Bone Milk, newly added item to the Crown Store.
Tantalizing.
So type in Vivek in Twitch chat right now, and you can win this sweet prize pack of awesome.
You know what I kind of like?
What?
That the shield behind you creates like this nice little
crown,
like a little halo.
A little halo. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Very
so
nice.
So cute.
Why isn't there a shield behind me? I want. Where's my? I guess I have the.
I have swords going through my head, so it's cool.
As you should.
Oh.
Because you're sword awesome. Because you're that didn't work.
Close, but not quite.
Can we rewind?
Let's redo that one.
All right, so we're gonna give it a couple more seconds and see who wins this prize pack.
The keychain's kind of cool. It's like a 3D, whereas it's made of metal. It's a keychain.
You can put your keys on it.
You can put your keys on it. You can put it on a bag. Maybe not a zipper. I think it's a little too big for that.
All right, do you want to call the winner?
Yes.
Go for it.
Ixie92X.
Ixie92X.
Yeah.
I tried.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ixie. Kai is going to be reaching out to you in Twitch chat. Check your other box and your inbox just in case the message goes there. We're going to get your info, send you the prize pack of awesome. So thank you for participating and watching. Sweet.
And thank you, Jeff, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
It was great to have you.
It's been a blast. Yeah.
Thank you for all your hard work.
No problem.
Coming up next, we are going to get into our Ask Us Anything segment.
Cool. Hi, guys.
Oh, we're back already. So to kick off the Ask Us Anything, we're going to close my error messages again. And again, these are pulled from the forum thread that we have titled Ask Us Anything.
Easy to find.
Indeed. So if you have any questions, you're like, why don't they answer this question? Go ahead, pop in there. We pull them every single other week for the show.
For every episode.
So the first question is from Slater, possibly related to AC Slater.
I think they're brothers.
Evil twin brother. Slater is asking, currently the Khajiit race provides the most inferior racial passives. They are great for a PvP-centric Stamina Nightblade. I think I recall you saying that there might be a couple changes to come. If not, would you please provide a change as soon as you can? We will be buffing a few of the less powerful races in our next major update. And our primary focus there is including Argonian, Khajiit, Nord, and Orc.
You hear that?
And you know what? That is a great question for Eric Roble, who will be joining us on our next show.
Next show?
In 2 weeks.
we're going to celebrate 21 in style. That's the way I like to see it.
Eric Roble is our lead combat designer, so he can answer all of these questions in full detail.
And he will. So start asking those questions now in the Ask Us Anything. If you want to get a head start, we'll pull them. Okay, so Randolph Benoit said, I love that you can steal, or that you can take or steal rabbits off of a wall. Me
too.
It's one of the best parts of rabbits existing. Will there be a day when we can take fish from drying racks or pick apples from a tree? The answer to that is we are always looking at ways to make the world more interactive. Plan to continue doing so indefinitely. Many fish racks in the game also provide fish meat, and we'll look at updating the rest of the rest to work the same way. Picking apples from a tree is a little trickier, but something that we could consider doing in the future.
You know, it's awful when you get a laughing attack and then everyone behind the camera is making fun of you, which isn't helping. I see Wheeler back there. All right, so here's one from Virus 40 ounce. That is a large virus. Oh, this is difficult. It's the end of a long week, guys. I'm sorry. Is there a way to respec skill points without crowns? Yes. You can also respec at one of the shrines, either in Eldenroot, in Wayrest, or Mournhold by paying gold. The gold cost increases the more skill points that you've spent. And also note that the experience gained in all your skills isn't forgotten, so you can continue your progress at any time by spending the skill points again.
Cool. Good answer.
Thank you.
From Kevlarto, ESO, in the large update that is coming, will there be anything to address the insane time to kill in PvP? Anything to stop the one-shot killing, which is keeping some of my friends out of PvP? And quite frankly, we don't want to keep your friends out of PvP. We want them to join PvP. So we've increased the effectiveness of the battle spirit buff, so players have more time to react to each other and be able to counter what the other player is doing. How do you like that?
Yeah.
How do you like them apples?
You know what? That would be a great question for Eric Roble, who will be on our next show.
He will. He will.
Here's a question from 9_9. The first one is spelled out, and the second one's a number. He was asking, does the crafted set Torug's Pact increase the enchantment effect of the master weapons that are received from Dragonstar Arena? That was actually a bug, and we will be they have fixed it for the next major update.
Nice. Bug squashed.
That would also be a great question for Eric Roble on our next show.
Well, we're not going to ask it again, though. I mean, we already asked it.
Well, he can get into some more details.
Okay, fine. Here's a question from Red Thread. Are you planning to add more skills in Assault and Support skill lines, which will require high Alliance War rank? It will add more motivation in PvP, I think. The answer? We have some pretty exciting plans to get people motivated in PvP in the next major update. ... Also, we'd like to continue adding more abilities to the skill lines to support different types of playstyles based on how the PvP metagame is evolving.
I'm not going to say it, but you know who could really go into detail about that?
I don't know.
You. Or Eric Roble. Next question from Solace of Shadows. I have always wondered this myself. Do Khajiit purr? In Morrowind they did, but in Morrowind they were also digigrade.
Which means?
They walked like a cat.
Yep.
And didn't wear shoes. I mean, I don't see a lot of cats wearing shoes.
No.
Khajiit in ESOTU walk like humans. Are there different types of Khajiit? So we actually got an answer from Rathuni La Dawnwhisker, daughter of Azura, and
What'd she say?
Says, we Khajiit come in many forms, many fur stocks, all of them wonderful. And I assure you, under the right circumstances, all of us purr. Perhaps you haven't been treating us as sweetly as you should. Try harder, tiger.
You heard it here first. Speaking of purr, that neon zebra again said, because zebras purr, is what I was saying. They don't really, but they... All right. Given the differences between the respective input devices in terms of speed and accuracy, i.e. a controller versus a keyboard and mouse, how do you plan to balance PvE difficulty between consoles and the PC Mac? Is it possible to lower or raise content difficulty for one server, for instance? In testing, we found that with practice, players were able to complete the toughest content in the game with both of the different input methods, so controller for console or PC and PC's keyboard mouse combo. It's not impossible for us to make those different settings for the different platforms, but we kind of think it's better to make the same game for everybody so that it's even. That way it's cool for all. I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Cool.
Here's one for Rude Boy TK.
This question's not rude, though.
It's not really that rude.
Not really that rude.
How long does an item stay at the buyback item list? So the buyback list contains the 12 last items that you sold to a vendor. If you sell a 13th item, the oldest will be removed from the buyback list. This is cross-vendor, not vendor-specific. The buyback list is never emptied, nor do items on it ever expire based on time. And it persists across character loads, such as if you log off. It's also character-specific, so you can't sell an item on one character and then buy it back on another.
Interesting. It's good to know, right?
It's very good to know.
I never took the time to count, but now I know. 12. 12.
Magic number.
Gitterick asks, East March, this is actually a very specific question for the lore buffs. East March appears to be too far left, or too far east, rather, I'm sorry, on the world map. When considering the location of Skuldafn in East March, it appears that there is a bay directly to the north of Skuldafn. The issue is Skuldafn doesn't have a bay directly to the north, it has mountains. Is there an explanation for this? Very good question. We had to go right to the source. We asked Phrastus of Ellen here.
Ellen here.
I did it.
Those lore names.
And they said, our latter-day Nords are not well known for their scholarly attainments, and cartography is not one of their strong points. On their maps, sites of great importance to the Nords, that is, great importance to the Nords, that is, are often distorted and exaggerated. So it is with the eerie area of Skuldafn, which holds great significance for our superstitious northern brethren. They have never been comfortable with the fact that the Dark Elves hold the west coast of the Inner Sea all the way up to the Black Light. In some cases, their maps elide that fact entirely, but it is there nonetheless. So
that was quite an answer.
Some map sketchiness going on is what I determined.
Okay, the next question is from Macadamia9. I like Macadamia Nuts, sorry. Please give us the ability on consoles to turn off public chat completely. I hate having to stop playing, open the options menu, and manually leave the voice chat channel each time I move to another area. We are working on UI functionality to make your area chat choice persistent.
Nice.
Yeah.
High fives. Not literally.
Did that just happen?
Well, I wanted to get organized first. Okay, I'm ready. High five. Here's one from Aniova _ ESO. I need to go back to the old reading school. Will ESO take advantage of cross-platform capabilities of Windows 10? Will I be able to play with my Xbox One friends while playing on PC? It's a very good question. We actually, so the way it works is we have separate mega servers for Xbox One versus PC. This has to do with first-party policies. So we're currently focused on, making improvements to the game, but there's no plans to make it so that if you're on PC playing the game, you would be able to connect to the console mega servers. So those are still going to be separate. Capiche?
See. Question from Randolph Benoit. Thank you for teaching me how to pronounce his name.
No problem.
Is it safe for a human to take a bath in the waters of oblivion?
I was wondering this.
I have always wondered this. Phrastus of Elenir has given us an answer, and he says, that depends entirely on where in the infinite variety of oblivion one finds oneself. In Cold Harbor, for example, pools of blue fluid are common, but do not mistake it for water. It is azure plasm. the chaotic stuff of which Daedra and their realms are formed. It's probably safe to bathe in, but I would hesitate to drink it.
Ugh.
As would I.
As would I.
I don't know if I want to bathe in
plasm
anything.
in here right now.
Ugh.
Some blue fluid.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Here's another one from 99. Will we ever be able to? Well, will we ever be able to see both our equipped weapons sheathed on our characters? For example, a two-handed sword and a bow quiver on my back, similar to Skyrim, or a two-handed sword and a staff on my back. When I unsheath one, the other remains on my back. It's a very cool idea. We can't render both the weapon sets at the same time on the character. We don't expect to be able to do that just with the way that the textures are composited on the characters. However, we're currently working on a way to display the weapons on your character while you're mounted. So there's something, right? It's going to be pretty cool. So you can see your weapons when you're on a mount.
Ooh.
It's pretty neat.
All right, this is the last question. To kind of start this off, we had said in a recent Reddit AMA, we have begun exploring ways to integrate floating combat text and buff debuffs within the HUD in a way that still keeps the spirit of the UI minimal. So with that, like Hergus was asking, if you make these changes to the console version, will this also carry over to the PC Mac version? Having the option to display accurate buff and debuff timers are a big deal to quite a few players on the PC Mac side of the ESO world.
Agreed.
We understand, and we are exploring this for console and for PC Mac. And that was the end of the sentence.
Nice. That's good to know.
Yep.
There's a lot of answers to a lot of questions. What do you guys
was.
think? Pretty good?
Should we keep talking?
I
No,
love talking.
We should go on.
My throat's so dry. So let's take a look at, instead of all these words, let's take a look at artwork. You want to take a look at artwork?
I love pictures.
Fan creations. Woo. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Are you, is your thirst quenched?
My thirst is quenched. Sorry about that. I got a little dry. So let's take a look at the fan creations from our fans that they created. This one is Folkenstal. We've shown her cosplay before on the show, but this one was just too cool. We had to show more. There she is, rocking the Khajiit helm with a little horsey, chilling in the woods. What would you do if you walked in the woods and you saw this? Say hi, or would you like run away? I think I would just run. I would bolt.
I think I would kind of stare and then likely run.
Sure. Maybe like a quick photo.
From far away, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So next we have the bond between a Khajiit and her crab. This is from Inaru on DeviantArt. Yes.
Sorry.
She drew a Khajiit, Lenka, and her precious mud crab Scuttlebutt. That is the official name here.
Very cute.
This is, the background of this is a screenshot from our game, but then everything else is created by Inaru.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, up next we have Guar. And I'm not sure why it's called that. Just kidding, because there's a Guar. Everyone laugh. This is by Yullapa on DeviantArt. Very cool. I don't know why the character reminds me of Skeeter from Doug. I don't know if it's just the color or I don't know, but
the color.
Well, so I think the color, green, blue, whatever. Nice piece though. I like it. The clouds are very like waspy. Is that the right word?
Sure, I'll go with it.
Okay.
This next piece is...
Wispy. Is that what it is?
Wispy?
No, close enough.
Whatever. Waspy, wispy. Same thing. Geoffrey Bless You by Janiko-neko-chan on DeviantArt. This is a speed painting of the artist's character, and he is a hunter. In-game, not in real life.
Nice.
Maybe in real life, I don't know.
Cool. Oh, this one's cool.
I like this one.
Mad God and Just Mad by PLB82 on DeviantArt. You can see, it looks like they switched hats, doesn't it?
Yes, they did.
Eating some cheese
Because
off
Cadwell
of
is not
Cadwell's
wearing
head.
his pot.
He's not wearing his pot. It's a very cool piece, though. I like the rat on the table.
the poor drunk rat.
Drunk rat. Very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Neat little piece.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have 3 ESO player characters from Seamannon
Nice.
on Anook. This is drawings of all of her characters, actually.
Yeah. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
I wonder if the background is their alliance.
I wouldn't know because of color impairments.
Oh, I wasn't even going for that, but now that you mention it.
Next, we have Orc Bandit by JSKARH.
Is that what he sounds like?
Yep. DeviantArt. He's got a little skull change purse on his belt, and he's got a sword. It's very cool. Snow on the ground.
Mannimarco Doodle is up next. This is from Skitamine on DeviantArt. This is a French artist who created our own King of Worms with beautiful hair, I might add.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a hair ad. It's very, very nice.
Maybe he was born with it.
Maybe it's Mullet Ball.
Oh.
Nice.
I think is that him photobombing in the back? I can't tell from here.
Yeah, too far away. Far away problems. Up next, we have Kihara the Hunter by SunPlume on DeviantArt. Very cute little Khajiit, Farrah Fawcett hairdo. I like it. This is her Khajiit Hunter. It's so cute.
Fawcett
I have
hairdo.
a
Nice.
base
Isn't
you
it?
know who Farrah Fawcett is.
Oh, come on. I'm an 80s baby. I know what's up.
Next we have Dremora. It's a French one by Skitamine. This was found on the ESOTU forums.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Instead of offending all of our French players, I'm just not going to attempt to pronounce this. But I like the piece for what it's worth.
You like the piece, do you?
Yes.
Cool.
I do.
And that's it.
And that's it.
So much art, so little time.
We
pieces.
also shared a video on our social media channels today of Lightning cosplay.
Yeah.
It was kind of a quick clip showing the process, real quick, how they created some of their cosplay from RPC.
Yep.
Really
Which
cool
was in
video.
Germany, yep.
So encourage you to check it out on our Facebook page
Yeah.
or Twitter.
Take a look.
And finally, some PvP talk with Brian Wheeler.
Let's do it.
Well,
Welcome.
here we are with Brian Wheeler, our lead PvP
boy.
designer.
Hi again.
Thank you for joining us.
Sure.
For anyone who isn't familiar with who you are, do you want to just describe real quick
I do?
what you do here?
Besides go
Besides
crazy.
hang out?
Sure.
in the studio?
I come hang out here a couple times, you know. Basically anything that involves Cyrodiil with the keeps, the siege weaponry, how the campaigns function, anything that involves the caves in there, all the content, all the monsters, all the quests, anything that revolves around Cyrodiil, I pretty much handle, except for, of course, the abilities that you use. Kind of the best way I word it is, if you know, you're watching somebody play football, 10 yards is a first down, touchdown is 6 points. I kind of come up with that, but Eric Roble determines how hard Tom Brady can throw the ball when they're not deflated. So
You know what I've heard? That Eric
that?
Roble is going to be on our next show.
This is like a combo. This is part 1, and then you're gonna get part 2. So
you go.
the 6 points, and then the Peter
And then
Brady.
how he
or
actually
whoever
got
this
it
guy
in.
was that you're talking about.
We watch sports.
Let's talk about Farrah Fawcett.
That's a football reference.
I did baseball last time, so I had to do football this time.
I know baseball a little bit. It's the Orioles, Baltimore. Orioles.
Yeah, well,
Like
you know,
that.
we're a Baltimore studio, and
We are.
we should be proud
Represent.
of where we are.
So you posted a pretty huge PvP update on the forums. I think it was earlier this week.
Yeah, it was
Last week?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
All the weeks blend.
Anyway, if you say so.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of responses to it online.
Yep.
Just in case anybody missed it, you want to do like a quick Cliff Notes version of what
not a too long did not read version.
Sure.
I'm surprised I never got one of those replies, by the way.
Not everyone reads, so.
But the first note we made was that we are addressing the lag or the performance issues. We started to really nail down what was causing them based off of when we actually went to Tamriel Unlimited. The population blew back into Blackwater Blade, and we could look at the population in that campaign versus, let's say, Hatteras or Thornblade or Azura, one of the other filled ones. They both had pretty high population, but the server performance on the non-vet was doing very well. So that led us to think, well, maybe something's going on with either high-level abilities or the fact that they can cast a lot of abilities at once, or the fact that their regen is really high. That started us in one direction, and then we started to drill down into things such as abilities with LOS checks hammer our physics server. And what happens is when you cast one ability, some abilities have just one check. It's like, okay, you're right next to me, I hit you, great. But some abilities say, I'm starting the cast, I need to see if I can hit you. Then it goes, when I finish the cast, did I hit you? Then that message needs to bounce up to the server and back. So it's a lot of traffic that doesn't necessarily need to be there all the time.
Sure.
So we're looking at culling out some of that traffic to help with the performance. That is kind of the biggest thing that a lot of people have been commenting on, obviously.
Yeah, it's a good find.
It's not a silver bullet. We do expect some performance boost from it, but we're not stopping there. We're going to keep digging into it, trying to find out what else we can do to help, you know, when there are problems, to recover from those problems faster. Because we know that there's posts about, I was swinging at a guy for 5 minutes and nothing happened. So we're trying to fix those issues as well.
Sure.
But it is a long process, as we are thankful that you are being patient waiting for it. But we have started to really drill down and get to the root of some of these issues. Besides that, some long-standing campaign pains, sorry, no pun intended, things like Emperor farming. We're going to be basically removing the temptation to Emperor farm by removing the passives when you're a former Emperor. When you're an Emperor, you just get all of them right at once. You don't have to spend any skill points. Anybody that was an Emperor will get those skill points refunded back to them. And we ran some statistics to look at how many Emperors there were worldwide since we've launched on PC, and it was something like 1,703 total Emperors across the board. So we're looking at that and trying to figure out how much we want to call out the jump to friend, which is another thing that sort of leads to farming campaigns.
Sure.
Farming campaigns also lead to the fact that the AVA buffs, we call it Alliance versus Alliance in the studio, can be used in PvE. So we're going to cut that off as well. So that makes the PvP buffs only in PvP, which has actually been a long-standing request on the forums for a long, long time. We know that that does affect some PvE performance and leaderboards with trials. So there are some discussions about whether we're going to reset leaderboards across the board or not. We understand that, you know, people were using those to get faster times, because, I mean, why not?
Sure.
But that's also led to some bad behavior of, well, let's get our Ebonheart guild to go to Thornblade, grab all the keeps, get all the buffs, leave it, and go do some trials. And that kind of had a detriment to the PvP experience. Short of that, obviously, Roble, who will be here next week. Next show. We'll be going over a lot of the class balance changes.
Cool.
They've been doing a lot of scrubbing through the armor sets, just the abilities themselves, and making sure that all that stuff is updated, and again, is listening to all the feedback on the forums. What else was in that post? A lot of stuff about campaign changes.
Guest campaigns.
That's kind of a big one, yeah. Oh, guest campaigning too. Some of the leading to the whole, I go to this campaign and take my whole alliance over there, what it seems like sometimes, is the guest pass and the home assignment was a little too cheap, as well as, besides the jump to friend, the cooldown was only 3 days, so kind of every third day, if you weren't using jump to friend, which you could bypass that whole system, you would get a wave of people just wiping through campaigns. But with disabling jump to friend, with increasing the amount of points it costs to reassign yourself a home campaign, as well as changing the cooldown of that to a shorter duration, we think we're going to be able to help cover some of those worries of buff campaigns. This side is outnumbered, this side has a score too high, and that kind of leads to the campaign scoring changes we're doing. So it's all linked together. It's kind of the craziness of how it is all linked together. But there are tons of levers we can pull after we make this change too, if we see that it didn't change behavior, or it didn't work out well. But the campaign changes are meant to give some of the campaigns a different feel. A lot of the requests have been, give us more objectives to fight over, more things to fight over, and there's currently 54 resources out there. So we figured, well, why not make it so that one campaign is just capturing those to get the points. The transit lines, the keep bonuses while you're in Cyrodiil, Emperorship crowning, the Elder Scroll bonuses, those all still function, but we're just going to have several of the campaigns give scoring differently, just to kind of give a different feel to them. There'll be the non-veteran style, and I think Azura will be all the objectives give 1 point, but all the rest of them will be either scrolls give 1 point, resources give 1 point, keeps give 1 point, and the other thing we're throwing in there is if you hold your own stuff, you get double. So it's kind of more incentive to hold your own territory. Yeah, I know it's a lot, and I'm sorry that was that post was like that long.
A lot is good. Everybody appreciates it.
So long
Very
time coming.
excited.
So it's happy to get it out there.
Awesome.
It'll be as you say, soon trademark.
It's my favorite word. I was
Soon
actually
TM.
going to ask
do it.
when people should expect to see it, but
Next major update is what we're saying, right?
Yep.
yes,
So then,
soon.
yeah,
Soon.
Not bad.
Soon.
Well, we have a lot of questions in chat. If you feel like answering some questions,
unless you got to go. If you have to go.
I got to go fix all those
Right.
things I just talked about. No, but I can answer some, sure.
Cool.
do you want to go first?
I would love to go first. This one is from T the Khajiit. Are there any plans to disable champion point perks in non-vet PvP?
Oh, yeah. There are no plans for that, but we do know that champion points do stack on top of the battle leveling. So it does give some people that have been playing for a long time, or, you know, obviously since champion points came out, not that long, an advantage against the other people that don't have it. There have been some discussions about it, but nothing solid just yet.
Cool.
Here's a question from me,
From
666.
you? Oh, me 666.
Not me, but
Me.
that me. Are there any plans to adjust PvP campaign rewards? At the moment, there's no incentive to win a campaign. The rewards aren't worth it.
Yeah,
What's the deal?
That's actually Eric Roble. Will.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I
No,
wasn't
it's
sure.
fine. He actually is making a good adjustment to a lot of the rewards for the worthy bags, and has been looking at the end of campaign rewards to see what he can adjust. Eric, he not only does obviously the class balance, but also works with the items guys
Itemization,
like
yeah.
crazy too. So he's a busy guy. So when he's on here, he's gonna have a lot of stuff to answer to.
He
I
should
guess.
really come on the next show and talk about all this.
That would be very helpful. Here's one from Phaedrus. Can you explain the upcoming suggested changes to campaign scoring in more detail? Like how some campaigns will score based on resources and others will score in scrolls.
Right. The reason we did that was to give them a different feel, because right now they all have basically the same scoring rules. A couple of them have a little bit different underdog population polling times. That also is getting universalized to be a little bit faster. But we really wanted to give a different sense to the campaigns, where some of them were going to be keep dependent, and trying to take the focus off of those to the resources. That's kind of going to be the biggest change, I think, besides the scroll one, because a lot of people go for scrolls as is.
Sure.
And if we see that one campaign style plays more, has a lot more people playing it than other styles, then we may just populate that rule set to other ones. So it's sort of a mixture of a combination of what was requested for, but also let's see what we can do with what we have while we're working on adding more things into Cyrodiil later on.
Cool. Makes sense.
Here's a question from McLego. Will the delayed boss spawns in Cyrodiil caves ever be fixed?
Some of them have a very funky timer. That's kind of a way to word it.
So technical.
Yeah, well, most of the caves in Cyrodiil have 2 to 3 or 4 bosses that are all linked on a spawn table. Sometimes one of them will continually spawn off and on and off and on, and they can't get the other guys to be killed. So what we'll look into that. We can't make it sort of what's called spawn on demand because it's a PvP space, and we're really concerned about having a ton of guys flood into it and have 30 or 40 of those things spinning up. It is something we've looked at, but not getting addressed anytime soon. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Here's one from Leet Speed. Just asking about battlegrounds or arenas or anything like that. I think you even answered a question about that recently in the forums. But any thoughts?
Are they coming?
Any words on
Battlegrounds, arenas, or flag style games, they are not in the works anytime soon. I know that we actually showed a style of one at E3 and PAX last year.
I think at QuakeCon also.
Yeah.
Last year it was kind of our
summer tour,
show,
so to speak.
our show tour.
That is not coming anytime soon. However, as kind of hinted at in a recent post, Imperial City does scratch a very ganky itch.
Yep.
Kind of a good way of wording it, or small style fighting itch.
More details.
We'll give more details on that
Next month.
soon. Yep. Oh, next month?
Yeah, July is next month.
Holy crap.
I know. It's coming.
Time goes away quickly.
Here's one from Dirty Dubs. This is more just kind of looking for some feedback. He just reached level 10, playing on PS4. He's asking, should I wait to get higher for the best PvP experience?
That kind of depends on what experience you're looking for. Like on the consoles, I started over on consoles too. We got our characters transferred over, but I wanted to start over just because.
Fresh start.
And honestly, running around in the non-veteran campaigns on the consoles is a pretty good experience right now. The performance is very well across the board on every single campaign. And a lot of the players are kind of experiencing it for the first time, so it's very exciting to a lot of people. There are also a lot of veterans out there, veteran players in terms of also veteran rank, that are kind of help guiding people around. So it's a good combination of it's fresh to a lot of people, and there's some not tutoring, but some guys that are saying, hey, we should really go over to this keep to cut off that transit line. So it's sort of educating people. Plus the voice chat, I know it's a little controversial, but it's actually in Cyrodiil, when you hear people saying, hey, we're going to go to this keep over here, we're going to go to Alessia next, it's like, oh, well, I'll follow those guys.
Yes, exactly.
So in that regard, it's a very, very positive experience.
Nice.
I was watching a Twitch live streamer recently who just went into Cyrodiil for the first time, and man, he was just having a blast. And watching them all kind of gather up in these little groups and then go off and find battles. It was fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Pretty cool. Here's one from someone I'm going to call JV because I don't know how to pronounce his name. There you go. When will the Iliad ruins be opened up in Cyrodiil so we can get relics, which give bonuses like much weaker Elder Scrolls in a small area?
Some of those Iliad ruins are cut off right now. We did do some of them, like Vodison, way up in the north. But we need to go back and actually add those in, and that's going to take obviously time to do, and the PvP team is focused on the zone, which shall not be mentioned until next month. So a lot of us are busy working on that right now, but we have started to look what's after and going back into Cyrodiil and seeing what we can add in there, and that is one of the possibilities.
Cool.
Here's one from Gino Bohm. Nice name. What are you doing about the big gap in champion points and general power between new players and VR14 in PvP? Is that more of an Eric Roble?
That's on Eric Roble.
As I was saying it, I'm like, Eric Roble.
That being said, we are looking into adding battle leveling for veterans in the next major patch too, and that'll help fix the gap, so to speak, between Vet 1 and the Vet 14 guys. That'll also, again, the champion points that you do have stack on top of it, so it doesn't necessarily help with the fact of I went against somebody with 600 champion points and they kicked my butt, but that, again, is sort of something that I think Eric and his team have been looking at in terms of that disparity as well. which you can ask them about in 2 weeks.
Nice.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Here's one from Eggnog 2014. It's my if I had to pick a favorite eggnog, it was the one from last year.
He's got bottles in his refrigerator.
Is there an update on forward camps?
Is there an update? Sure, they're still not coming back. That's
an update.
The last we left them off internally was we have the radius that you can respawn, a lot smaller. You can only respawn within the radius, and we have a global cooldown that you can't respawn at any forward camps after you've respawned at one. It's getting held up due to needing some testing and a little bit better UI for it. But even then, when they're in that state, they're going to be highly debated whether they come back, because there are still some other things we want to do. One of the suggestions that's been on the forums and actually in some of the guild chats is making it so that you can only respawn at keeps that are within a transit line that is connected. Because right now you can kind of beachhead it where you as a Daggerfall player could go way deep, well players can go take a keep way deep in, let's say, Ebonheart's territory. And then you can respawn at it, so it functions sort of like a forward camp. So there's been ways to have a forward camp without forward camps right now that are also sort of up for debate of whether we're going to keep that too. So even if the forward camps get their UI and the global changes like that fixed, it'll have to be heavily tested on PTS before we say yes, this is back in the game.
Sure.
Cool.
Here's one from Naz Dragosani. Right?
Sure.
Close?
Sure.
As far as I know.
What are your thoughts on increasing the number of players allowed in each campaign? Do you think the maximum number of players will be increased again?
We've thought about it, and that is going to depend highly upon the performance fixes that we're looking to put in. If we can get Cyrodiil to perform a lot better, then we can look at introducing more people back into Cyrodiil. The caps are
Makes
there
sense.
mainly for stability performance issues and making sure that it runs as best as it can with the amount of people we have in there. But if we can actually get the performance better with the LOS changes as well as whatever else we pull out of our hats for code fixing and recovery, we may crank it back up.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Here's one from Phaedrus. Another one from Phaedrus, I think.
I'll say that's not familiar.
Not to be the lore guy, but shouldn't there be inherent value in holding and capturing an Elder Scroll in an Elder Scrolls game?
There is.
There you go.
Well, I mean, besides the fact that you get the bonuses from them when you do capture them, not exactly sure what else he's looking for, asking for a follow-up
We would
later.
welcome your feedback.
You're right.
Let me write back. I'm just kidding. I'm not really going to write back. It's a live show. I don't have time for that.
Nobody got time for that. Gino Bohm, I'm not playing favorites, but he does have another question.
Okay.
Will you change the AP gain for bigger groups so it is encouraged to fight in smaller groups?
Right,
I
yeah,
think so.
that's
encouraging-
another one
yeah.
where the AP gain from the ZerG, as it's called, you can get AP that is the same value regardless of whether they died to one person or 5 or 6 people. It does reduce it a little bit in terms of it splits it, but obviously killing a lot of people faster is easier in a bigger group. We have looked at adjusting that, but there's nothing in the works right now for saying if it's a larger group fighting a smaller group, the larger group gets significantly less than they do from the split that already happens. That would take some calculations on the server of basically following the mob and checking proximity, which is traffic on the server, which is stuff that we're trying to minimize at this point in time to get performance back up. There have been some other solutions we've talked about, but for right now there aren't any in that regard of fighting. It's basically a fighting the ZerG tactic. But there are other things that we're not at liberty to talk about just right
Sure.
You know what I just realized we're not doing?
What's that?
The official ZOS position. There.
Oh, is this it? Everybody has to do
Everyone
this?
has to do this.
Really?
Jeans are too tight. Okay.
It kind of hurts my hip, but we'll do it just for you.
You guys wear tight jeans. You're crazy.
It's
There.
crazy kids these days. Here's one from Gloringson. Are you going to fix the outposts so Night Blades and Dragon Knights can't jump into them?
Yeah,
sure
that's one that's been actually it's a combination of two things, where either it can be fixed by the abilities, but it's turning out we've talked about it several times. It's getting to be a little bit complex. We may go and do some world building changes, or some fixture changes to those specific ones, because it seems like it's several of the outposts have obviously been built in what people love to call the gullies, and people can jump from various fixtures around it into the keeps, but there's also some cases where they can get an angle on a very like on a mix, where a certain piece of geometry, there's like a gap, there's a sliver, and they can target somebody between that sliver and they can shoot through. So that's also tricky to get fixtures to work, because we need to get a lot of guys to fix that. Not just me saying, hey, let's pull a data switch and change it. So getting some fixture time as well as some world building time to address that is more than likely what we're going to do, as opposed to saying you can't Dragon Leap or you can't Teleport Strike, because cutting that away would be a little bit tricky. To put a subzone or an area of denial that where you were trying to use it to actually fight me legitimately in that location, if you can't use it, you would like, what the, you'd hit your button and it wouldn't work, or like this.
Yep. So either way, a button's getting broken.
Yeah.
Me 666 again. Not me, but me. What about the AP tick system? Can you elaborate why this was implemented? There's more to this.
Yeah,
if you want to hear
the
more.
AP tick is, I'm guessing, about the keep defensive tick.
Yes.
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 It was implemented to give defenders a reason to stay and basically secure a keep after a battle's been finished. The way it works is whenever people die in an area of a keep or a resource tower, the alliance points are put into the keep in terms of like a meta pool. And when the combat stops, or if the keep is flipped, that pool gets distributed to everybody in the subzone. The problem is that some people chase people away, and then maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people get that whole pool to themselves because they stuck around and repaired, or they just know to wait for the tick. We have discussed some changes to that in terms of a tracking flag we put on players of they participated in this fight in this subzone in this area, and no matter how far away they get, whenever the tick goes, it gives it to them. But that again is some performance things we need to worry about.
Exactly.
It's the server holding another flag on a character, and we're trying to call down and cut back on as much traffic as possible in that zone. So it kind of is a tough fight of what new stuff can we get in there that doesn't also incur a cost on server and client traffic. So it's an issue we know about. It's just more of a matter of how can we get newer systems into Cyrodiil that don't affect performance, which is why we're trying to get the performance fixed first before we add new stuff.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
sense. Yeah. Jinx.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Who's buying a Coke?
Diet Coke, please. Don't like that sugar. Here's a question from Nazir. Any plans for new siege weapons?
The siege weapons we have out there right now, we can do new ammo for them. Building brand new weapons, like I know people have asked for siege towers as well as siege ladders. Our lead programmer, and probably Geoffrey would punch me in the kidneys if we had moving collision. Moving collision of, you know, a tower being rolled up and then the top plopping down on keep wall would be awesome. I don't deny that, whatever. But getting new weapons is not as easy as I would like it to be. We could probably add things like scorpions and onagers, which are small scale versions of ballistas and catapults, but that takes some fixture time to get done. It takes a lot of planning and effort of not just my team, but the fixtures team. And again, back to Eric, getting smaller projectiles to fire would be fun, of course. But we'd like to add them over time, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Sorry.
We have a question from Dark Matter asking if you're taking away all the PvP buffs for PvEers, how are we supposed to compensate? We can't compete with the existing leaderboard players because they all had the PvP buffs in PvE.
Right. That's kind of one of the questions that we've brought up internally about, are we going to wipe the leaderboards when we do this? That is expressly the reason why, because they had those buffs before, And if we're going to remove those, we should remove the advantage they used to have by having them high up on the leaderboard because they had those buffs. We don't know if we're going to wipe them just yet, but that is exactly the reason why we would wipe them, to give it an even playing field of everybody going, okay, go, do your trial runs again with the gear that you have, as opposed to the gear that you have plus the PvP buffs, which are going to be gone. Well, from PvE.
Nice.
Cool.
I think that's it. Isn't that it?
Think so.
Ooh. You can always
Possibly.
ask more questions on the forums.
Exactly.
You can ask more questions.
No problem.
And actually, you can ask more questions while we're doing our last giveaway.
Yes. Let's do a giveaway.
So we are going to be giving away a t-shirt, not of your choice.
Right.
Frankly, it's going to be whatever size we have in stock.
Listen, we got what we got, guys. But
We do go up to, we go from small to 2XL, potentially 3X. Keeping that in mind, the keyword
is
Cyrodiil.
Cyrodiil.
And spell it right.
2 eyes.
2 eyes.
2 eyes.
Yeah.
Don't give it
And a Y.
away. Yeah, so Cyrodiil, type it in the chat now. We're going to pick a winner, give you a shirt.
You know what
Good
I just
times.
realized? It's going to be really hard for people to continue to ask questions if everyone
While
is
the Cyrodiil spamming.
Yep.
Good point.
Oh, well.
Good point. Well, that might be it for questions. We'll see.
I did see somebody just in passing say, well, wait, which one is the official forum? It is forums.elderscrollsonline.com.
Yep.
If you go to the website, there's a little button right at the top. Just click on that.
And then you go to the Alliance Wars section for anything PvP related.
Including your recent post.
And then if you want to
Which I think is
ask,
23 pages at this
I think
point.
it's like
There's
25.
a lot of
It's a
questions.
lot. Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Cyrodiils going.
Cyrodiil.
So what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to be playing in Cyrodiil on consoles.
There you go.
Very nice.
Going to be running around on my level 10 currently.
Aw.
From, well, I remade, this is my third level 10 since I remade. I have my Daggerfall that's already in Tavia. I have...
Up the sweetener.
Yep.
Of the sweetener, right. My Ebonheart is currently in Rislav. And my Aldmeri, I'm not telling anybody where that one is.
Nice. All right, we have a winner. You want to read it? Do you want me to do it?
Sure. Soul of Dragon 01.
Very nice.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Kai's going to reach out to you in Twitch chat. Check your inbox or the other tab. Let us know, of course, what your size is, and we will send that out to you.
And if we have multiple different shirts in your size, we'll let you pick.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
I wanted to pick. I wanted to give them whatever I wanted.
Surprise shirt.
Oh, man.
So t-shirt sort of your choice.
I was so excited to pick that. All right, forget it.
Oh.
You just go pick. Pick a good one, though. Now I'm all sad.
Well, I guess
But
we
it's
should,
Friday.
we
Luck
should
up,
end the
little soldier.
show.
It is Friday, guys. Wah.
Well, thank you for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
Sure,
For
no
taking
problem.
the time out.
No problem.
It's great to have you as always. And a little birdie told me that not Brian Wheeler, Eric Roble will be on the next show.
I haven't heard that yet, so that is cool.
Just
Good.
in case you missed
New
it.
news.
So we will see you on the forums.
Yep.
We will see all of you on the forums.
Yep.
And
And in game as well.
a game.
So many platforms to choose. You got the PC, the Mac, the PlayStation, the Xbox. We'll see you everywhere.
See everyone.
So our next show is going to be on Thursday.
Yep.
July
2nd.
already?
Yep, it's going to be July 2nd
July
on Thursday. We want to celebrate the 4th of July as well, so that's why we're going to do it on Thursday. Thursdays are fun. It's like
Thursday
Friday, but
shows.
it's early.
It's a Fake Me Out Friday.
It is. Let us know what you thought about the show. Send us your artwork and your fan events, and we want to see console fan events too, so send those to us.
You can send it to community@elderscrollsonline.com.
That's the place.
Well,
Anything
as always,
else?
thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Okay.
We will see you guys in Tamriel and have a fantastic weekend.
Bye, guys.